Learn from others, watch how they go, take what you gather and make your own way. You can't reach your success following someone else's path. Today on Growing Hope, we dig into the better and best ways to learn from others so that we can make our own way.
It's time for Growing Hope, the show determined to grow up hearts open to pursue the extraordinary. Because you are extraordinary! And now, live from a little cabin in the woods, nestled along Big Spring Creek, it's your host, Kathryn Lang.
Hello and welcome to Growing Hope, where we are invested in growing up balanced lives, where we are invested in walking out in purpose and on purpose. Because you were designed with intention. You were designed for a specific intention. It's not an accident that you are here where you are right now. I am Kathryn Lang, and I am your purveyor of snarky rainbows. I'm here to toss out some twisted encouragement to fuel your pursuit of your uniqueness. And in sharing with you, I fuel my own pursuit. So thank you for being here today. Thank you, because sharing with you does give me better focus. It makes me bolder in taking that next step. And we all need that dose of boldness to infuse us in how we go. This world does not want us to pursue our uniqueness. This world is going to make it as difficult as possible. The world has no intention of making this journey easy for us. But despite all the efforts of what the world does and all that the world pours into our paths, walking out your uniqueness is still simple. All you have to do is believe you can, and then you have to take the step, and then you have to keep stepping until you get there. You have to know where you're starting, and you have to know where you're going, but you will also have to make your own way for the going to occur. When I was younger, I would flip around on the trampoline without fear. Well, I could do forward flips. Back flips evaded my abilities. I could get the height. I could even get the momentum, at least to go forward, but I think I had a slight fear in the idea of flipping backward where I wasn't able to see where I was going. Ironically, when I started flipping off diving boards and boathouses and bridges, I preferred to flip backwards. But maybe it was for the same reason. But back to the trampoline. My neighbor was really good at doing backflips, and he got it in his head to show me how to do it. He walked me through how he did it. He showed me how he did it. Then he told me to copy him. And I tried. But for a number of reasons, it didn't work out for me the way it worked out for him, and I landed on my head, almost on my neck. I didn't get injured, but I was sore, and it became another stumbling block in keeping me from finding my way to do a backflip. I couldn't do a flip exactly like he did a flip because I wasn't him. I could have stopped listening to others when things aren't going the way I think they're supposed to do, but it's easy to listen to them. I am trying to get better in finding my own way, even though I know it's what we're supposed to do. I know I'm supposed to find my own way, but I listen to what other people are saying, even though people around me will tell you I don't listen. Okay, my husband will tell you I don't listen. But instead of focusing on what other people think about me, I'm trying to understand the information that I'm getting from them, and then I'm trying to figure out how to apply it to my unique path. No, I'm not going to do it the way they say, because I'm not them. Leaving others into the power, giving others the choice of what you're going to do, allows them to dictate how you're going to do it and the path that you're going to take. You have to make the choice to learn from others, but use that information on your own. Now, how you learn from others is not limited, but some of the ways is connecting on social media, attending online events, making time for one-to-one mentoring, both directions, finding local gatherings, and attending niche events. These are just some of the opportunities that are out there. These are some of the ways that you can learn and connect and grow. These are some of the paths you can pursue to invest in relationships, and everything that we're doing is founded in relationships. It's founded on relationships. You have to invest in others if you're going to grow up your own bold path. When you invest in others and when you take the time to connect with others, then you can learn from what they have to offer. Sometimes it's not even what you went to learn, but be open to the learning experience and you will learn from them. I heard a story about Henry Ford when his board of directors was trying to, kick him out of the business. They wanted him removed because he wasn't doing what they wanted him to do. So, that's kind of the circle of, entrepreneurs. You don't do it the way they want you to do it, and so they want to get rid of you. But when you do it the way that they want you to do it, you don't reach the level that you could have if you did it your way. Anyway, he was taken to court, and the opposing counsel was questioning Ford about his knowledge and ability to run the company. He provided a question for Ford about how a particular thing had to be done. And Ford responded with, "I don't know." The opposing counsel was all over it. "What do you mean you don't know? You run the company." And Ford calmly explained, "On my desk I have a row of buttons, and each of those buttons connects me to someone that has specialized knowledge in different areas. When I have a question that I don't know the answer to, I push one of those buttons. Within a few minutes, someone will step through the door with the answer I need." The opposing counsel started to say something else, but Ford stopped him. "You see, I don't need to know all the answers. I just need to know what button to push." When it comes to setting your plan, you have to know what button to push as well. You may not have a literal row of buttons, but you can make an effort to learn from the people that you encounter. So learn to connect through social media. If you're not on social media, don't get on social media just to connect. The idea is that we're not limited to how we can connect. I've heard arguments that these social media relationships aren't real because there's not that physical connection. But I can remember when I was younger having pen pals. What's the difference? There isn't a difference. The investment is the only thing that's different. If I'm being fake to you and I'm not making a genuine investment, then I can't expect to grow up a genuine relationship. When we pretend, we get pretend. When we invest, we get invested. So think of your social media contacts as a fast-paced pen pal. You don't have to know all the details of someone's life to learn from their journey. Sometimes even watching their stumbles will offer you a lot of information for moving down your own path. You can also learn from others through online events. And this has been a wealth of opportunity for me, especially when I had smaller children. How you define an event is up to you. It can be a regular gathering. It can be a Twitter chat. Love Twitter chat as long as TweetDeck is working. It can be a webinar. You can even attend conferences, which is where I really delved into online learning because I could do the online conference with a more affordable rate. I didn't have to go to the location, and I did get to meet people through these online contacts. When I'm attending one of these online events, I keep a notepad on my desk and I jot down ideas that I gained during the talks. Well, I was looking at it this morning and I realized I have a booklet almost of ideas. Instead of implementing ideas, I was adding new ones. So you have to balance the learning with the implementation. But do make the most of your learning by utilizing online opportunities. Now, one-to-one mentoring is vital to learning and growing. You want to find people that are going to help you in your journey, but you also want to make time for others that you can help. And what you're going to discover is that when you're invested in helping others, you learn and grow from that experience almost more than you do from when you're going to someone who's going to teach you. Mentoring doesn't have to be structured meetings. Coffee with a mentor or with a friend or lunch together works as well. Sometimes it's even better because it's casual and it's all about the relationship. It's not about getting something from the encounter. So make time to meet with a mentor or two, and always make time to be a mentor. Let's just have coffee one morning. See what happens. Local gatherings are another fun way to learn from others. Sometimes you can get a meal out of the event. So your community center, your chamber, your tourism association, your library, they're all sources for free, like free, or low-cost learning. Meetups are now a great way to make that engaging connection for learning and growing and supporting each other. Many years ago, I connected with local bloggers. Once a month, we'd get together for lunch. Most of the time, we just sat around and talked. I know, right? A few times we did have a specific topic that we were supposed to cover, and at least one occasion we had someone that actually came and taught us something, but the key wasn't the learning, the key was the engagement, and we learned from each other through the engagement. So I knew if I had a question about a particular area, I knew which person would be able to help me with that because of the connections I had made through these meetings. And because I made connections through these monthly lunches, I became part of WordCamp Birmingham, which has led to many learning opportunities and incredible connections with people all over the globe. I would never have been able to do that without reaching out to that blogging group to begin with. A lot of what you get from attending these events comes down to what you're willing to invest. So get connected and learn from others in your community. And the final way to find learning, at least the learning that we're talking about here for building your path and your purpose, is to attend specific events that are specific to your area or not. Actually, I often like to not attend specific to my area. You have to be willing to look outside your ordinary if you want to discover your extraordinary. Now, I had been attending writing conferences for years, but I started attending WordCamp to learn more about creating content because I was writing online. I found incredible tips on storytelling, and those bled into my book writing. So even though it wasn't a writing conference, I was gaining so much insight from attending this conference. I began looking for more social media and content-focused conferences. They weren't exactly my focus at the time, even though I worked in that area, but because they utilized the power of storytelling, they gave me a new twist for taking that to my fiction and even to my creative nonfiction. The different twist can be vital to learning what you need for your journey. It teaches you to look at things in a way you hadn't looked at them before, but don't overlook your focus events and seminars and conferences. People that are on a similar path and parallel journey will be a wealth of information and learning opportunities as well. So ultimately, there's no limits to where you can learn as long as you are invested in learning, as long as you're willing to get to know something or you're looking for opportunities to learn something new, you're going to find those opportunities everywhere. Recently, I went up to Lowe's to look for some ideas for a project I wanted to complete. I can wander around Lowe's for days. I love it. I love going in and just imagining what I could do. But this particular day, I was just wasting time until I could go pick up some tile that I wanted at an auction. And I was sharing this story with a man in the garden center. And he started telling me all these different places that I could do online auctions or get stuff for free for DIY projects. He was a wealth of information. And had I not been willing and open to learning from him, I would never have gotten that information. We have to make the time to engage with others, but we have to be willing to learn from whoever we encounter, because you never know where the learning is going to come from. Sometimes it's the kids sitting next to you. Even when you learn from others, you still have to take that information and put it to work on your own. Others do not have the exact design for your plan, but others can provide you with wisdom and guidance that you need to make your plan. You have to be open to learning from others, and then you need to take what you learn and make that information work for you. So connect with others on social media. Attend online events to learn more. Make time for one-to-one mentoring, both directions. Find local gatherings, events, and attend focused events that are inside and outside your particular focus. There are no limits other than what you put on yourself as to where you can learn. But if you are willing to be open, these are really good starting places for discovering new learning opportunities. The more you invest in learning, the more you're going to find opportunities to learn. I attended a writing conference not too long ago to learn about marketing my book. What I discovered is that most people sharing at the conference were following just tips and ideas for making sales. They were focused on, where can I sell my book? Where can I set up to sell my book? That kind of thing. So I shifted my learning to marketers and salespeople, because that's what they do for a living. And what I discovered is that successful people across marketing and sales platforms focused on the same thing, building relationships and being helpful. I adjusted what I was hearing at these writing conferences to go along with those tools to make connections and be helpful. And in doing so, I began to see that these different tools that they were sharing at the writers' conferences were really opportunities for doing exactly that, building relationships and being helpful. I took those marketing ideas and applied them to the books, and I began to see the shift that I wanted. Just because a group faces the same struggles you are facing doesn't mean they have the answer that you need for your journey, which is why it's so important to be willing to learn from outside the normal path. You never know who's going to hold the answer you need, and you never know how the information you're gathering can be utilized down the path that you're going. You have to be open and willing and invested in your learning. Sometimes you find you had it all with you all along. Like when you're sharing, encouraging someone else, and you kind of go, wow, where did that come from? I know I'm not the only one that said something or written something and the light bulb goes off and you're like, wow, that's how that works. Sometimes it comes from unexpected places, like when your kid says something to you and you're just like, yeah, thanks a lot for that. That's not where I wanted it to come from. But if you're open to learning from your kid, then you're going to get information that you can utilize in your journey. Being invested in learning and sharing opens up the mind to creative ideas and creative ways that are going to allow you to build a plan that's going to get you to where you want to go. Thank you so much for joining me today for Growing Hope. If you are struggling to understand where you want to go, or you're having trouble defining your uniqueness, visit coachforfocus.com today and set up your free 30-minute jumpstart call to begin creating your path for your success. You can also connect with me over at the Growing Hope Radio Facebook page or through social media. You can find me as Kathryn C. Lang across platforms. Let's learn together and let's learn from each other. Share your ideas for how and where you are learning, and also any places that you're struggling, so that we can get there together. I am convinced that when we pursue our big dream goals, when we define them and make a plan and have the people to support us, we can get there. I am Kathryn Lang, and I'm here to tell you that hope makes a difference, because every day holds a promise of more, and every action contains the power of possibility. It's not about what the world says or even what the world shows. The strength of hope and encouragement will and does push through the limits and the walls of the world. My prayer is and always will be that the words I share are helping establish foundations of hope that will shatter the delusions of the world around us. Until next time, remember, be blessed, be a blessing.
Thank you for joining us for Growing Hope with Kathryn Lang, where we are sharing hope, encouragement, and inspiration to do more. Visit www.kathrynlang.com to invite Kathryn to be part of your event or to share your own stories of possibility living. Until next time, remember that a seed of hope planted and nurtured will grow up into a world of possibilities.